Welcome to 0 Hit Points, everybody, for the week of September 23rd. I'm Ryan Miller. And why are we going so early, Matt Amberg?
Because I can.
Oh, okay. Whoa. So this is like the mountain of podcasts.
Like,
does that reference even play anymore?
The Game of Thrones?
Or maybe that's not even the right...
There's a...
No. I'm sorry. I confuse with why do people climb mountains with why does a dog lick his balls?
You know...
Stay tuned for that and other maxims here on 0 Hit Points, where we talk about video games and maxims.
Ugh.
Just like maxims.
Terrible, terrible magazine.
No. Don't even... Why would you bring that into the discussion?
It's... Time is a flat circle.
And a construct? Binder snitch, or however you say it.
Binder snitch!
This is going to be a weird one. It hasn't been yet.
Just kidding. Sorry.
But it will be soon.
It's already there.
I know I've said this
Countless
many times, many ways.
Okay. I'm excited. Hit me.
But Merry Christmas. No, I've never had less. For not even just this show, spoiler alert for whenever Book Club comes out this week. I've never had less for both.
Oh, baby.
Everything.
Don't worry. I've got you covered.
Do you? Okay.
I do.
I know it's a fun trick to show up and be like, hey, you want to carry the show?
And I'm always like, not really.
But you say that you take like 30 minutes to say that, and then it's the show. So
yeah, I do take forever to say nothing. That is accurate.
It's one of our guarantees. So I know we're probably going to want to talk about Borderlands 3 since that is the one game I did play, but I don't have anything to add. I don't know. We played enough. My feelings haven't necessarily... Okay, I guess that's not true.
Okay, this is a roller coaster.
Last time we talked about how I wasn't trustworthy because I had such a bad week that it was kind of rough going on the opinion front there.
Sure.
That certainly has lessened, and I think I've had a ton more fun with it than last time we talked about it. I don't know if my overall has changed on it too much, but I'm also, maybe 4 hours more into it. Like, we haven't played that much.
And yeah,
really.
And we haven't, we've progressed the story, but then we kind of got sidetracked for an hour and a half to do side stuff as we are wont to do.
I guess I will say, as we got more dialogue, that pretty much did cement, whereas before I didn't listen really to enough of it to be like, yes, you're right, that is pretty bad. I think now I have to say, yeah, you're right, that's pretty bad.
It's not great.
It's not at all. And I don't know how much of that is what they choose to go for, because the main bad guys are kind of like YouTubers, basically, right?
Yeah, essentially.
But it's...
Like and subscribe!
It sounds like boomers trying to be hip. Like, if I were a boomer, this might be what I sound like.
Hey, man, I'm cool too.
YouTubes.
Rad.
Now you really do sound like me.
Oh, well, we get older.
Things are rad. I stopped saying rad for a long time. Then I started it again. I don't know why.
I don't know. I say rad a lot.
Okay.
You may have been influenced. I'm going to go ahead and say I influenced you.
So you're an influencer?
I am. That's true. I'm a very popular influencer. I took some time off, and I'm always getting fan mail like, when are you coming back? When are you going to influence me some more? I don't know what to buy. I need new shoes. Very popular again. So I don't know
if you have anything else to add to Borderlands also.
No, not really. I'm sorry,
Borderlands 3.
I'm saving my golden keys for much higher level.
Oh, question about that, because I finally did. You used one and it gave you an achievement, so I was like, oh, well, I was going to do it anyway.
Well, I better go get it.
Yeah. So I redeemed a bunch, but they haven't showed up on my thing. Do you have to go to your in-game mailbox? Is that the thing that I'm...
I didn't, but I hope that when you redeem them, that you chose your console and everything, because it doesn't...
Yeah, it made me choose Xbox every time I redeemed one, actually.
Okay, yeah. And your account is connected? You're sure that the account you're using is the same account you're...
I double-checked that after the fact... And if I log into my game and I bring it up, it shows the redeem history.
So they should be, the way you see them is, for me anyways, you go to the chest and it told me how many I had, I think.
Oh, okay. And that's probably, we haven't been back to the sanctuary ship yet.
And it is in like the dumbest spot. It's like a tiny little thing in the top right-hand corner of wherever I was looking, and I'll try and find it again. But it was really small, and it was like golden keys. That's how many, like tiny.
Okay. Yeah, well, when we get back to the sanctuary, I'll check it out.
And actually,
I got something.
I do have
Here's
something
the thing.
also. Yeah, you hit me first because I'm coming back with something.
All right.
All right.
Why do I keep getting lost in this game? Is it me?
Like in space?
No, that's I can't tell you why you keep watching Lost in Space. Actually, I can't tell you. It's a fine show. Speaking of the Netflix, in fact, do we ever bring that up on anything?
No, I never watched it.
Oh, you've never watched it even?
Yeah.
I really like that.
Oh, I should check that out.
Okay. So I don't know what the thing is, but in every environment, I am having trouble following the waypoints, getting... Like, usually there's a waypoint, you know it's somewhere on the map, and you can kind of fudge your way across the map till you get to it. I'm having the hardest time doing that. Like, I have to go to the map every single time and be like, oh, okay, this is a dead end. Oh, I have to go around over here. And even then, it's not completely apparent. Sometimes I have to figure out where the entrance is on I don't know. I don't know why it's happening more often than not with this thing.
You know, I feel like it just is it's different because the game isn't as flat. So if you think about Borderlands 2, that was a fairly flat game. Like there was not a lot of like ups and downs here, and this has a lot more cliff edges that actually lead to the rest of the world, as opposed to these kind of like you'd have cliff edges in Borderlands 2, but those were like you're going off the edge. There weren't a ton that led to a giant open space.
I'll buy your baloney reason for the time being.
But also I am having the same problem, so I don't know that I'm right. I just know that for me that kind of makes sense, and it kind of seems like it to me. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Stay tuned to find out if it's us. Spoiler. It's probably us.
That's definitely us. Here is my gripe.
Okay.
I am so annoyed by how small the text is.
Oh.
All the text in the game is really
Grandpa.
small. Yeah.
Gee.
Are you kidding me? My freaking glasses are like, they're thicker than my cell phone. And and I have like a brick. I'm using something from 1990.
Your cell phone is bricked. Yeah, no.
Yeah. The text is really small and I hate it.
You know, you're actually not the first. I have one other friend that's playing. I probably have several other friends that are one other that I know of.
Okay, don't brag.
I don't know. And he said that he needs to wear his glasses as well. I don't know if it was for the text specifically, or I don't know what the problem is. In the end, you're just reading what you're hearing, so that's not a bonus.
Yeah, stupid brain. Why you read when you can listen?
And then when you listen, it's the dialogue. So you know.
No, I get it. I'm just.
Oh, okay.
I have an issue where I can hear it, but I have to read it also.
I have an issue where I can hear it too.
Okay. Maybe we should trade issues.
Okay. Well, Borderlands 3 continues to go on and will. And I apologize in front of everybody for disappearing completely yesterday. I know we were thinking of time, but it just didn't.
No, it's cool.
Happen for much the same reason that I have very little to talk about this week. My wife was out of town, so
yeah,
I was kid bound.
It happens.
Mm.
I played board games with the wife, so
board games.
No.
3.
Yeah, no. We played the DC card game, the collector, the deck builder.
Any update on that?
Super fun.
Okay.
She kicked the crap out of me every time we play it. She I don't know what's wrong with me. She finds these cards and she buys, and she's like, oh, I'm going to use that one. And then I'm just going to I think I've got a counter for it and I still get boned. It's,
is it something along the lines of, okay, this card doesn't quite work, isn't going to do me any good, and I might lose the game, but Shazam!
No, Shazam's actually a good card. That's the thing. That's frustrating. And I did buy him in the last game.
You've let Shazam down. You've let us all down.
No, we lost. Dr. Savannah won this one. That's what I'm calling her from now on.
Fantastic.
So is that all you got?
That's literally, and great. If you couldn't tell, that was a stretch.
Okay, here we go.
Milking.
So I'm gonna start low and slow. Because I told you about the like I've got like a match 3 game. It's called Jewel Fever. It's nothing you haven't played.
I don't know if you have told me about this one. I think Toon Blast was the last one I heard from you about.
There's nothing special about it. It's just a match 3. There's like it's okay. I don't even. It's just a match 3 over and over again. Beth is on like level 500 or something, and I was like, I like.
All you had to do was tell me that it has 500 levels.
It just keeps going too.
Nope.
It's a time waster.
Okay. But
game. Every once in a while, it'll bring up an ad because you've got to I want to play the next level. Watch an ad. Okay, whatever. I can wipe now. Mm-hmm. And I'm always like, sometimes I'm looking at these ads and I'm like, who's buying this game? So I have to download it.
Wait. Okay.
Because I've started doing this recently, and I don't talk about all of them because they're almost none of them are I play them once.
Worth talking about. No.
Yeah. But now I got 2 of them now. Neither of them are worth talking about, but they're really funny. So one is called Picker 3D.
Okay.
And this is a game that revolves around you basically being like a U shape, and there are these like balls that have some physics to them, and you're trying to corral them for a short run, and then you have to like get X amount of the balls into this like the end of that portion. And it's like the easiest thing in the world, and you're just moving the thing back and forth. I don't know how long this goes on, but I'm intensely interested because I've been playing this game now for like 19 levels and nothing has changed. It's the same thing. And I keep thinking, I'm really curious about this because this is one of those, do people pay something to see if there's more? Because there's not.
You've already given this so much thought.
I love it. I love it.
More than the designers, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. They were like, hey, we could do this like 7,000 times. I bet somebody will pay to get rid of the ads. Okay.
I bet some dude shows up to his manager and is like, look what I did on accident. I was trying to do a match 3 and the thing, I don't know. It's like it's a flying magnet that's collecting ping pong balls. That's essentially what it is. Call it Picker. Wait, why? Just release it.
Yes, it is. Go. Get it on the App Store.
We're losing precious money.
And then the other one is Sniper 3D. Because again, this one showed up and I kept watching this and I'm like, this looks absolutely ridiculous. And again,
Sniper Elite is the actual franchise.
Yeah.
This is
nothing to do with that.
No. Okay.
And it was another one where I was like, okay, who's buying this? It's like I downloaded the game.
I love the who's buying this as I download it question that you're like, who would download this?
It's not who's download. I want to know who's paying for these games. Like when you play it, why would you pay $1? Any money for this?
It is Criminal Minds over there. You're like, if I could just get into his head.
It is so dumb. So this is a game where like the money comes from them being like, buy better guns. It'll take you forever to get a new gun. Whatever. Who cares? This is stupid. You have a zoom meter and then you've got like you just move the thing around and you're moving the gun around.
Whoa, what's it? You said zoom meter like it's a universality. What is that?
It means you can zoom. It's a sniper game, so you can zoom.
Oh, zoom. Oh, okay. I was thinking like speed.
No. You're always stationary, but you can look like left, right, and up and down and all that. Sure, but you're stationary. You don't like move in this game, and you just have to find the person and you snipe them. But there's like no challenge to this game again because it's a it's a like at the beginning of each level they're like the guy with the red briefcase. There's nothing else that's red in this entire game like at all. There he is. Really dumb. That was a quick delete. Can't play that. But
I'm telling you, man, this should be technically a genre because there are games, and honestly, it's the one that comes to mind is that one I downloaded. Also on your recommendation of that's the word one, Wordscapes.
I love getting you to download weird crap.
I'm more Criminal Mindsy than you, I guess, in this way because I'm like, oh sure, let's what's interesting about it's not they're not designed. They just go on forever. They're literally there to it's like the channel surfing of video games if you weren't actually changing games or channels. It's just there.
That was very confusing to me, but sure.
I know it all is. Sorry, don't let me interrupt.
No. This is the point here. Okay,
good.
So I also did some checking out of the Super Nintendo functionality on the Nintendo Switch. Looking good. There's some good stuff in there. The multiplayer definitely works. F-Zero is still really cool.
I heard you verified that multiplayer can happen on those titles.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I definitely want to. I'm really hoping Ice Climber hasn't gone away, and I'm really hoping at some point in the near future, Bubble Bobble. I really want to play it. 2-player.
Ice Climber never goes away.
It shouldn't.
First of all,
I love that game. It's fun.
And Bubble Bobble. If they don't, how could they not? Honestly, unless there's some ongoing rights thing, you'd think though.
Which now I'm thinking, I'm all confused about. It just popped into my head when you said, I'm like, no, not Bubble Bobble.
Well, because there's current iterations. In fact, we talked about, are they calling it Bubble Bobble for Friends or something like that?
Yeah, I know.
It's coming out, so there's an ongoing thing of that. But I can't imagine that they wouldn't see releasing the old one on the Switch as a boon to whatever they're doing that's new, right?
I hope so. Bubble Bobble.
But
it's so much fun. But all that stuff is cool. F-Zero is still super fun. I played Church in the Darkness.
Oh.
Really, really been waiting for that game. And I actually played this 2 weeks ago, and I just kind of forgot about it.
You've played it many times.
Yeah. Been going through that some more, and that game is hard. Even on the easiest difficulty, that game is
really
not simple. Yeah, and it's totally a complete stealth game. And I think one of my big problems, and this is actually going to carry over into my next game, is the camera doesn't go out far enough. And it's probably a design choice, and I kind of get that, but it can be very frustrating when it seems like you should be able to zoom up a little bit further than where you are. But it continues to be very difficult, and I think I've come in through almost all of the I feel like I've hit so many different permutations of the cult leader and the layout that it's freaking hard, man. It is.
So it's a rogue light and or whatever. I hate that. In that you're kind of playing the same scenario over and over, right? Trying to get as far as you can.
Yes. Yes.
What is permanent? What stays? Are you leveling up in some way that's making your runs progressively easier?
I don't think anything does. Although, maybe I see.
That seems strange to me.
I don't have. The thing is, I don't have anything. I haven't accumulated anything because I haven't been able to sit for hours with it, and it definitely is a game that takes, again, it's all stealth. The only thing you have off immediately is you can throw a rock, which is, of course, it's a stealth game, so chuck a rock, go past them,
No.
But then
you hear a rock, you're like, let's investigate.
Exactly. I'm going to turn all the way around and somehow not hear the shuffling behind me. But game's still, it's super fun. It's just really, really difficult. And then I also I rolled credits on Untitled Goose Game.
Well, credits? Wait, we didn't. All right.
It's a short game.
Failed the city, but we had this grand idea where we both played hours and hours of Goose Game, and then when it came time to talk about games today, we would be like, oh, it's time to talk about that big release, and everybody would think we were talking about Borderlands 3 because that's new, and we can't stop talking about the same game for weeks in a row. And then we were going to do an entire show on Untitled Goose Game. There you have it. Pretend that happened, and now you can tell me what actually happened.
Did I ruin this? I forgot.
No, I didn't download it again.
Well, there you go.
It was a yesterday thing, and everything went to pot yesterday.
That's fair. It's a super short game. It's 2 hours long at most. And it does have a new game plus that I probably actually am not. Like I started it and I don't know if I'm going to keep going with it. It's not something that I care all that much about, and the difficulty on it is probably fine really compared to the rest of the game. It's just I don't want to.
How much was it?
$14.99.
Okay, that's about right. I was actually thinking it was more of a substantial thing. Like I guess it does have multiple levels, but I guess it had more. I thought it had more to it. But if it's $15, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that the secondary playthrough has some more, probably something to it. But I have to say, I did laugh out loud multiple times playing this game.
Awesome.
It's not as goofy.
That's all I want.
It's not as goofy as you'd think. It's actually more like the game that comes to mind with this is Flower.
Okay.
So it's kind of got like, it's that with more of a sense of humor. Like there's actually humor to it, but it's kind of got that serene thing to it. And there's an object, and the object is like, it's very clear, it's just, there's something very like relaxed and calming about the game. And it probably comes from the animation, but and the music is kind of like, the music is super fun.
The music's great, right?
Yeah. The music is great. Yeah, the game is super short, and the two real critiques I have that really bug me is actually the same thing I had where the camera is so close that you have to hold a button. I had to hold a button like the entire time. I had to hold the bumper the entire time I was playing to keep the camera zoomed out so I could see where things were, because it just is like, it's impossible to get a handle on where things are. And some of the things, like when you deal with the humans, some of them you have to like really get around, and there's a lot of, it's a stealth game for crying out loud.
Right. Are you docked or handheld?
I have I'm docked. I've got a Pro controller. You seem very confused by that.
Because I was wondering if this was an issue of being handheld.
No, I actually finished the game handheld. So I played both ways, but I played.
So it's not a function of it being handheld and you feeling like you're not getting enough screen in there,
not
which
at all.
Wouldn't change between that and docked anyway. So.
No, it's totally the camera itself. And then the other thing is, and this is a product of what it is. There are moments where it was like, that sucked and it's stupid. The controls are very like squishy because it's
really?
a goose. So like it's very much so when you hold, like when you move right, you don't immediately move right. You kind of like slowly curve to the right.
Right.
So like you can stop and immediately hit the opposite direction, and you will flip the other direction, but it's still a little slow. And there are a couple of moments where you have to get around things, and it can be tricky if you don't figure out the exact puzzle, but it's like 2 hours of puzzles. That's what it is, of stealth puzzles.
But I think that's smart with the movement anyways, because I guess there would be some humor to kind of that video game type movement, but I think the animation, we talked about it being so evocative as is, that don't mess with that really, like, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a... Sorry.
I'm gonna get a spit take, taking a drink there. It was you can't spit take on your own statement. It doesn't really work that way.
You know what? I'm going to test that out. Maybe not in front of all this electronic equipment, but at some point I'm going to test that out. It had some there were totally some moments that I laughed out loud. There were definitely moments of I won't say it's tense, because it's not. You can't this is not you can't lose. Like, you can't die. There's nothing.
There's no losing with Goose Game.
No, not at all.
That way, back of the box.
It is legitimately just a game where at worst you get like kind of, they don't even kick you. They just kind of make a motion at you and you go, and you run away. And you're forced to, like, you don't get an option.
You flutter away.
Yeah, you go, I got an injured goose here. I don't know what's going on. So you can't really lose, but there's still some really funny parts for me, and the ending I actually did laugh out loud. Like I had an actual like, are you kidding me?
In again, some more.
It was just perfect ending, and it was just so like not having an idea for whatever reason, like I didn't know what this game was. I just knew it looked cool, and finding out that it was this puzzle game. Super fun. Yeah, definitely worth the $14.99, and especially if you want to go back for the new game plus stuff, which difficult.
You probably won't, but I don't even know if I want to. But I definitely want to play it. I don't think I will be the first one to play it. I want to buy it to watch my daughter play it like immediately.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
first.
That's awesome. No, it's just perfect. It's totally
and my wife actually probably.
It's super fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Cool. We'll talk about that again next week.
No, sounds great.
Impossible that I don't have time this week to do that.
No, seriously, it is. I came back to it. I played it twice. I got like an hour in, and then I was I was sorting my comic books because I had a lot of them, and then I had a little bit of time before my wife came home because I'm married to comic books. I don't know. I don't have glasses.
Yeah,
on,
you don't have glasses,
still,
but you're pushing them up on your face. That's fine.
Because I'm a winner. But I only played it in like 2 sittings, and it was quick.
You sold.
I will say this
again,
is just one of the things that I think is like it's stupid but it's just something cool to me is the way you get your like the objectives. It's just written on a piece of paper, and then as you go, it crosses
like a piece of lined paper from a notebook.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the objectives is again they're going for an experience here. It's not really a difficult game. You don't really have to do much. Like you have to do the exact thing, but it's not like you have to. It doesn't have to stay that way. You only have to do it for a second. Like there are times when it's you have to steal a can and put it in this basket. Well, if you steal the can and put it in the basket, and it's the last thing in the basket, that's all you have to do. And like the person comes and takes it out, you already got it. You
still marked off, right? Yeah.
So. Super forgiving, super
because it knows what it is.
Yeah. The objectives are just something that they're so like you have to do them to move on, but they're fun. They're all like it's to a point.
Objectives are probably like, well, we've got to do something, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, they were like, well,
can't
Flower is a weird game. No, yeah, it's cool, man. It's fun. You'll get a kick out of it.
I believe you.
Cool. Thank you.
You're wrapping up like that's it. Is that all?
That is all. Yeah.
Okay.
That took entirely too long.
No, I can't believe we went this long already. Anyways, it's possibly 30 minutes depending on what happens.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Most of the news things aren't. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you remember this?
Thank you.
Not a whole lot going on in the industry this past week, anyways. But here's a feel-gooder. You ready?
I would love to feel better.
Co-defendant of deadly Call of Duty swatting sentenced to 15 months, barred from gaming. This is the dude that swatted the other dude, and a guy died, and he went to jail for actually many, many years, 20 years.
Yeah.
And the story is so dumb that there was like a $1.50 bet involved, and obviously it's dumb because it's over a freaking Call of Duty game anyways, but the guy's like, you should swat him, and he's like, what, and then he did it, and then the guy that just made the suggestion is going to jail for like conspiracy and obstruction of justice, wire fraud, making false statements during an investigation. So
okay, yeah,
it's just nice to see the kids go to jail, I guess. I don't know.
I fully support kids going to jail. I think more need to, honestly. I'm a big supporter of let's release, all of the drug offenders, get the people the help they need, but put the kids in there. Let them experience
daycare.
The other inmates that are supposed to stay there, the armed robbers. How about that? How do you feel about that, kids? Do you think that's cool to be in jail for armed robbery? Maybe you do. But then you're going to find out Prison Mike's going to show up. It's all going to go downhill.
It's going to weird places.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, okay. So you've heard about that. Did you hear about this? Google's doing their own Apple Arcade.
Everybody's got an arcade.
Everybody's got one.
Remember when nobody wanted to go to the arcade? Yeah.
Last week when I asked them, yeah, it's kind of fresh actually. I wish you wouldn't bring it up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The only reason I thought this was interesting is because they're doing it a little bit differently from Apple, who went the exclusive route, both in that only games are featured on the service, and they supposedly have some sort of exclusives that are loosely defined. Google, it's called Google Play Pass, and yeah, the games are a large part of it, but they're kind of going the opposite way in that it's not only exclusive to games, but also it's not like apparently any app can be on it, like AccuWeather and Facetune are also on here in some form or another. So I thought it was a much more inclusive solution to this thing that I don't know. It's a strange proposition because if you don't need the app, what does that give? But it's
right.
I don't know. It seems better to me actually.
Okay. I mean, yeah, no, it does. I agree. It's the Arcade Plus.
Neither of us are going to buy this, you say.
No,
that's
I don't have an Android for one,
so.
and number two, I would never pay for a subscription for anything like that.
I'm telling you, it's thin this week, okay? Did you hear about this? Arkham Origins Studio teases something on Batman Day, which is a thing.
Yes.
Did you know Batman had a day?
Everybody has a day. Flash Day is probably coming up, especially if we're following comic book canon. There actually is a Flash Day.
Oh, that would be something. If they had a Flash Day and the studio tweeted something that looked like maybe they were working on a Flash game, that would be something.
If they did a Flash Day in real life, that would not go over well with a lot of people. There would be a very big mixed message situation, I think.
Oh, I see now.
Yes. Humor.
I didn't think there would be any confusion.
It's rolling at just forefront of this show.
There would be lots of naked speedsters around, is what you're saying.
The nudie runs.
No, they tweeted something. It looks like they put up the bat signal on the side of their building or something like that. I don't know. The only reason I mentioned this, because another game from the company that made the mediocre Batman game, and we weren't like over the moon about the last legit Batman game.
That was Warner Brothers Interactive.
Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rumor is that it might be a Court of Owls game.
Well, that's great. But if it's not Rocksteady, I'm gonna not necessarily be super up on it.
I actually heard the Origins. Wasn't that the full title? Batman Origins.
Yeah, Arkham Origins.
Sure, Arkham Origins, right? I heard that the story in that was maybe the best thing about it, and everything else was just kind of rote.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that was actually Sessler's review. Really liked it. Was who it was.
Yeah, no, and I never. I mean, maybe I'll play it at some point, but
no,
probably not.
I don't know. I thought you've actually. Have I read Court of Owls? I feel like I did.
I have.
None of it stuck, but
have it if you want it.
I know it's popular. I feel like you've spoken about it before. I didn't know if this would move the meter at all.
The Court of Owls is super cool. Like I said, like that's not I need to see more. I'm fine with, like, I liked the way Rocksteady did what they did. The little I played of Origins, it didn't feel good. It didn't. I remember it not feeling. It wasn't as tight as. Oh,
you could tell a difference in how it played, even.
Yeah, for sure. And it was a different game, and I don't know that, like, now it's been so long that I'd probably be, oh yeah, this plays great, or I don't know.
It has been long enough. Like it wouldn't surprise me in the least that they're doing this. I know it's not Rocksteady, and they've been working on their thing that they haven't announced yet, but. Yeah, I'm zero surprised if they would turn to this company and be like, "Hey, do another one. It's time."
Yeah,
that'll probably sell.
Oh, and of course it will.
Anyway,
I just don't know why. I don't know why. Rocksteady is hopefully working on a Shazam game, because the more I think about that, the more fun that could be. Like,
of course,
being able to go back and forth, and oh man, they're like
game of the year.
I know. I want it so bad.
I'm still up in the air on whether or not whatever they're working on is a superhero thing at all.
Oh, it's definitely going to be.
Think so?
Yeah.
They've already said it's not Superman. Great.
It'll be Flash.
I guess that would. I guess okay. You're right. Part of me is like, do something different, and the other part of me is like, a Flash game? Are you kidding me? Day one.
Thinking about that is kind of novel. The idea of like going into the Speed Force and having normally people are walking around, then you decide to run and everything just stops, and like, but you're the way that your locomotion would work, it wouldn't be blindingly fast. It would be kind of like Spider-Man's locomotion when you get as fast as he's going. That'd be really fun, man. And then like either of those games, when you go to get into like, there's like little gang fight and you just start like, you just start running at them and you can knock them into the air and all that stuff. Oh, now everything is going to bum me out.
You're dancing around the issue. You just want to be able to run through people in a bloody mess.
I do love that
the
idea.
Speedster from The Boys.
Yeah.
The Boys?
Yeah.
Or just Boys?
Yeah. A-Train.
The A-Train. Take the A-Train. Oh, he's named after a Duke Ellington song.
That's true.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, he's basically Duke Ellington in the show.
Oh, so you hear about this? The Red Dead Online players say they're finding zombies in the game.
I have heard about this. That people are thinking it's a tease for Undead Nightmare Part 2, which, let's be honest, it's coming. It's definitely going to be there. So? Probably in October.
That was my actual question. I just wanted to talk about Undead Nightmare. Undead Nightmare, of course, being a great single-player DLC add-on that we got in Red Dead 1.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm a little, bemoaning, I guess, is remember when GTA 5 came out and they at least had some pretense to single-player DLC until finally they realized that GTA Online was where the money was at?
Yeah.
And then that's where everything was at after that.
Yeah.
No pretense to single player with Red Dead, which is fine. I mean, that's a kind of a masterpiece of a story anyways that wraps up, and it's a prequel, so sure. But there's just no... like, if this comes out, this Red Dead Night or whatever, Undead Nightmare thing, it's going to be a Red Dead Online thing. Like, through and through, there's no...
Right. Well, I'm willing to bet.
Pretending.
I'm willing to bet though it's going to be a free thing because they just keep releasing those things for free, and then everybody pays the money to get all the crap. So
I guess, and there have been story hooks in their Red Dead Online stuff.
They know better than to fracture the player base at this point. I think most everybody has figured that out. Don't fracture the player base because it doesn't work. Like especially
right
now. So it's going to come out for free, is my guess, and then
or be it just an event or something that happens in the world.
I could even see them just leaving it there and having it be a thing that's just a free, like it's. Do you want to play this? Do you want to play with zombies? Whatever. I don't know. It could just be an event too. So
I just want some story hooks. Like that was the compelling thing about that DLC is how everything went off the rails and they had like story justifications for it. I think he was just dreaming in the end, wasn't he, or something like that?
I do not remember.
I don't
even
remember either. That's right.
The only things I remember about that are playing the multiplayer with.
I want the things that I don't remember very well.
Yeah, the good old days.
That's everything. I thought maybe worth asking if you had heard about it.
Well, thank you. I'm glad we've figured out if I had, and the ones I hadn't, now I've heard about.
Is there anything that you thought I should hear about that's been going on lately?
No.
Okay. This has been Zero Hit Points, where we talk about video games. See?
We did it.
You can find us at zerohitpoints.com and or Facebook and or Twitter and or Insta or Gram-ing.
Yeah.
Come back next week where actually I know what's going to happen next week. I can tell you right now.
Tell me. Control?
I've caught a bit of a pinball bug.
Oh, this will be fun.
So I've gotten all the digital avenues going here and kind of testing those all out, seeing what happens. I actually have a couple real world tables under my belt that I've been out to visit on the hunt in the city.
Wow.
Yeah. I found one at a pizzeria.
I love that you're on field trips now. This is great.
Well, let's say there's usually pizza nearby. Let's put it that.
I will say that.
And then one kind of left field thing that I'm more excited about than any of the others. But that'll be next week. This week also, though, we'll be doing some sort of book club for movies episode. Actually, this week you're getting 2 technically because I haven't finished the one from last week. Probably why I didn't have much to talk about this week because I didn't have time to do that even.
Oh, well.
So that'll come out today. I think I released last week's on Monday too. So
Nice. Good work.
you'll get some things. That'll be the TVVB one we did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do something else for this week and you'll see.
I believe you won that one.
It's been so long.
It has been. I don't remember anything.
If you told me we were going to keep score, I could have maybe taken notes, but I wouldn't have. So,
Well, that should make everybody look forward to that show.
okay, bye.